Hell hath no fury like a cyberpsycho pop star scorned. Lizzy Wizzy's role in Cyberpunk 2077 is a pretty minor one, but it's nonetheless an interesting glimpse into the world of the 2077 celebrity. Not only that, but we also get to see, continuing from our Carrie Uridine gigs and our quests with us cracks, the commodification of a cultural icon. Only in the case of Lizzy, this commodification is to the absolute extreme. And what, pray tell, happens when you hit the ceiling of fame? What happens when there's nothing left of the flesh person you once were, twisted and shaped by celebrity, chrome, and above all, the almighty Eddie? Hello, my name is Liddy, and welcome to Shaped by Stories, where we unpack how characters shape stories and how those stories shape us. Let's get into it. Elizabeth Wissenfirth was born probably sometime in the 2050s, but there's nothing solid on her age. We don't know the length of her career up to 2077, but what we do know is that the woman, or cyborg, who would become recognized worldwide as Lizzy Wizzy, has had quite the fascinating career. There's so many celebrities in 2077 that get a casual mention, and it's hard to gauge who's the biggest of them all. On one hand, you have Carrie, whose fame comes from his decades of stardom, his past with samurai, etc., etc. His career longevity is noteworthy, especially considering how he's still creating to this day, at least following V's intervention. And then there's us cracks, a relatively new girl group who has been taking over the music world by storm. But it seems Lizzy Wizzy wears at least one of the crowns of the artistic cyberpunk realm. She's not considered just a pop star by many of her contemporaries, rather she is seen as an artist par excellence, a visionary, a true creative. Though, of course, conversely, some people see her as a very well-marketed product. Someone playing a role to the max. To them, she is just a well-trained corpo project. Carrie Uridine keeps a shard about Lizzy Wizzy in his mansion, alongside shards about his other current competition in the industry. Maybe he was admiring her creativity, or maybe he was hate reading about her, frustrated about his own creative rut. Who knows? Either way, neither Carrie or any of us can deny Lizzy Wizzy's immense fame. And nothing really gets her reputation across better than her famous 2071 concert. At the end of this particular concert, Lizzy ate a poisoned apple, laced with a chemical that would send her into cardiac arrest. As stated in the shard Supernova, the unofficial biography of Lizzy Wizzy, this was the beginning of erotic reimagining of Snow White. For 5 hours, fans watched and waited as a team of Ripperdocs performed surgery on Lizzy on stage, giving her a full body conversion. All her organs, all her everything. The implants belong to a corporation that is called either More Technologies Implants or Maury Technologies Implants. I don't know, the E at the end is capitalized. And then, when Lizzy rises from her death sleep, she performed her now massive hit, Restart, Reheart, Repeat. Naturally, considering the events surrounding this insane performance, the song sat at the top of the charts for a whole year. Some view this theatrical stunt as an insane marketing ploy by Maury Technologies, while others see it as Lizzy taking her artistic vision to new, unforeseen heights. Lizzy is quoted as saying to N54 News about this concert, "I always felt like my mission was to cross the ultimate frontier. That frontier is death," which, metal, literally. Over the years, Lizzy continued her meteoric rise, bolstered by even more insane stunts. Lizzy's concerts are sometimes described as anarcho-terrorist, which I wish I knew more about because that sounds very interesting. It makes me at first think Samurai and Johnny Silverhand. In an interview she has with Ziggy Q, Lizzy talks about her latest album, Fuck All Walls, and gets into a political discussion about the physical wall separating North and South California. She talks about unity and whatnot. It's up to you whether or not you think Lizzy genuinely believes and hopes for the reunion of the US. I can't really decide if it's all part of an act or if it's genuine. Maybe she just assumes her moral, philosophical mantle for creative shits and giggles. It's hard to say. I'm just reminded of Johnny's perspective on Carrie, saying he was never a real rebel, he was just a rebel in his art, not in his actions. Or at least that's Johnny's opinion. And then we also see Us Cracks definitely plays the role of their characters, but when you speak to them, they're actually very smart. They know what they're about, they know what they're selling. But I don't know, Lizzy could be genuine, everything under the sun. It's said that Lizzy changes her style and appearance very regularly, even right down to her facial features. She can shift and change how she looks on a whim. But this feature of hers might also be a nod to Lizzy's multiple design stages throughout Cyberpunk 2077's development. You can see one of her earlier designs in this E3 trailer, and you can see her looking a bit different from how we meet her in a lot of her posters. I love that all these designs, though, can still be canon. The sky is the limit when you've got the money and a great Ripper talk. Also, total side note of a bit of background lore about Lizzy Wizzy, she apparently has a dog named Bonkers, and the only time we really hear about Bonkers is in a very easy to miss Trauma Team diary that you can overhear on the TV in-game. And it basically goes over the story of how Lizzy Wizzy has a Trauma Team package for her dog, and one time the dog was kidnapped and the dog was held for ransom, but then Trauma Team showed up and rescued the dog because the dog had a spike in cortisol levels. And I mean, who wouldn't want a Trauma Team package for their fur baby? I mean, come on. And yes, Bonkers was successfully rescued, he is okay. Lizzy is also described, though, as having a charitable side. She apparently would give her old clothes to friends and strangers alike, and even wanted to leave her old implants for others to use at no cost. She also, crazily enough, raided a Biodyne Systems factory in protest of implant homogenization, where she and the mercenaries she hired stole over 1,000 implants and handed them out to her fans at a concert. This whole raid was actually streamed live for all of her fans to see, as Lizzy knew that her celebrity would protect her from any actual harm. Or at least that's what she says. Some people believe that this raid was a staged stunt, as Biodyne never pursued the matter in any way, legal or otherwise. And they also conveniently had a surprise expansion of their factory following the incident. Lizzy argues that they simply co-opted the raid and the publicity she brought to their company as an advertising opportunity. While some people believe that she must have been paid a pretty eddy to take part, or that she paid them, it's definitely an interesting bit of a mystery for this already enigmatic performer. One day in 2077, while going about their usual business in Night City, V gets a text from an unknown number. No real info is given, except for a meeting place, the Noel Motel. And we all know only nice things happen here. As V enters the motel room, there she stands, Lizzy Wizzy herself, one of the most famous people in the world. By this point, V is no stranger to celebrities and rock stars and cultural icons. We have Johnny Silverhand in our head, after all. We've hung around with Carrie, we've been in the same room as Saburo Arasaka as he was murdered by his son. But yeah, despite all that, this moment does have V going, wow, it is crazy to be meeting this megastar in this shithole of a motel, the site of V's own death not so long ago. Lizzy's operating in this case without a fixer, and she's asked V to this meeting in such a sketchy place because she values her privacy. Alone, she admits to V that After a creatively rough year, she's got yet another thing coming. Lizzy believes that her boyfriend and manager, Liam, is having an affair, and she wants V to do some private investigating to confirm or deny this suspicion. V's had experience with this sort of thing if you've played Pepe's Quest with his wife, so this is, on the surface, quite simple, just for a very, very huge client. But we can see some cracks in Lizzy's facade here. She has a moment where she curses her hands after making a bit of a mess with her cigarette, and when V asks her if any specific event comes to mind that has caused her suspicion, Lizzy sort of scoffs, saying her mind is a touchy subject. More than that, she won't say to V, not yet. Lizzy admits that she needs someone outside her circle to find this proof, to handle the confrontation with Liam if necessary, because neither she nor Liam are ever alone. They got a whole entourage around them at all times. She can't let her frustration with him slip, or else it'll be all over the media. You get the impression that Lizzy lives a life where she can't really trust anyone, she can't really open up. And the idea of not even being able to trust her own boyfriend, her own manager, is another layer of frustration and concern. That's gotta be stressful. With the promise of a mountain of eddies, V goes to Riot, the club we visit where Carrie first meets us cracks. Lizzy knows that Liam frequents the place, and she thinks that's where he's meeting his mystery lover. We can ask around the club to find out more, and we do get a bit of info on Liam as a person. According to the bartender, he's kind of an asshole. And also, his quote-unquote output is too. We find out that Liam is currently in the VIP lounge with this supposed output, and V taps into the security cams to eavesdrop on their conversation. And it's here we find out that the truth is arguably even worse in some ways than just simple infidelity. Liam wants to create an engram of Lizzy without her knowledge or consent, and he's here trying to seal the deal with not his lover, but this Arasaka executive. Liam and this corpo discuss creating a backup of Lizzy just in case she meets a premature end. As the corpo says, Arasaka has a keen interest in the money-making machine that would be Lizzy Wizzy, just as Liam probably does too. He is her manager after all. But on top of everything, he asks that some of Lizzy's more undesirable traits be tweaked. And it's here we learn that Lizzy's restlessness, her caginess towards V's questions, are perhaps due to something far darker than simple nerves. Liam says that there are moments since Lizzy's conversion where she seems like a stranger. He hesitates going into detail, but he's clearly disturbed and unsettled by his girlfriend. Johnny is especially disturbed by this revelation, of course, given his nature as an engram. To him, it's not even just the fact that they want to copy the artist to sell her forever and ever. It's the fact that Lizzy wouldn't even know that the backup was made. She would have zero say in this matter of her personality, of her mental imprint of talent being used for profit without her consent. Johnny as well was turned into an engram without his consent, though Spider Murphy's engramming of him is definitely a bit different. V downloads the security cam footage as proof for Lizzy, but we can also go up to confront Liam face to face. Liam tries to pay V off for their silence, offering I think it's 40,000 eddies, it's a lot. But he can also add on to what V has already overheard. He says that since Lizzy's conversion, she's become increasingly unstable. It started with simple memory issues, but fast forward to present, her personality shift downright unsettles Liam. He admits that he is scared of her, of what she might do. V can accept his bribe and also still tell Lizzy the truth. I mean, yes, you can choose to withhold the security cam footage from her if you want, but then the quest ends. V calls Lizzy and sends her the footage, much to Lizzy's shock. She hangs up mid-phone call, and for a time, that's all we get, aside from a brief text and a stack of eddies. I'm pretty sure you get less if you don't give her any proof. Lizzy's not wowed, but she'll still pay you for doing the work. However, sometime later, After a series of vague and concerning text messages, we get a frantic phone call from none other than Lizzy herself. She tells V to come quickly to the Noel Motel, same room as before. But when V gets there, we see a stuttering, shocked, disturbed Lizzy tucked in the back of the room as Liam lies dead on the floor. She tries to say she simply pushed him. She didn't realize her strength. But then she jumps to a personal question.
You ever wake up in the middle of the night and not know who you were for a second? Or, you ever feel like you weren't really you? That's how I feel all the time. Every moment. This emptiness, this helplessness. I stopped seeing, creating. Just now, I just wanted to break up with him, Tell him I want him out of my life. But I don't even know how, when.
So, yes, these were her troubles she hinted to earlier, or at least a small part of them. Lizzy is definitely not oblivious to her problems. V can examine Liam's body and find that he was strangled, which is brutal on its own, but his spine is also busted. Lizzy then admits she must have lost control. So slowly she's not denying it anymore. And then she jumps to, okay, V, I need you to throw the body in the garbage disposal now, which is kind of ironic considering V's own body may very well have been thrown into that same garbage disposal, unless Dex and Oleg lugged it to the dump themselves. Lizzy also goes on a strange tangent after saying the media can't get a hold of what's happened in this motel room. It says a lot how quickly she's jumping around from denial and shock to acceptance to full-blown embracing the whole situation.
The world would eat it up. A tale of the temptation to control another's memory. A grim reminder that a person is merely a collection of bytes that can be copied, reproduced. Thank you, Liam. You don't realize it, but you've given me something beautiful.
The hell are you talking about?
Go, V, go. And take him with you.
Yeah, so Lizzy just goes from shock to that in a span of 2.5 minutes. The way she goes from, I just wanted to break up with him, to, I don't know, burn the body maybe, is wild. Like, I'm not gonna say Liam was a great guy. I definitely think that's an asshole move, wanting to copy your girlfriend's personality, both for, I guess, your own liking, but also, like, probably to make money, and all without her consent. Like, maybe he thought that they could put her in a different body and then he could have his old girlfriend back after the original Lizzy was taken out of the picture, which is messed up. But damn, Liam was not wrong in his concern about Lizzy. We see that very clearly now. We do get a few follow-up text messages from Lizzy after this, but V can be concerned with the things she's saying, the manner of which she's speaking, almost cryptically. And considering the fact that Lizzy thanks Liam's mangled corpse, she is happy and appreciative that this happened. I would say that V's concern is very valid, but that is not the last we see of Lizzy Wizzy. Oh yes, there is more, and it is also fucked up. We can see Lizzy Wizzy again when she performs at Kurt Hansen's party at the Black Sapphire. Now, if you refuse to dispose of Liam's body, she will actually dismiss you, and she'll call V a nobody. Otherwise, though, if this is V's first time meeting her, she will be quite polite to V. It's nice to see. The other thing, too, is if you then do her quest after meeting her at the Black Sapphire, Lizzy will ask V not to talk about her gig there, as she doesn't like to be associated with the more unsavory elements of the location. So it seems, despite her activism, Lizzy is still not above performing for the criminal elite, so long as she gets paid, and so long as it's kept quiet. I mean, she probably is also signed to the criminal elite, and she is a criminal, considering what can occur with Liam. And she also hired a criminal merc, and V's not the first. Yeah, there are no clean hands, thanks Goro Takamura. But Lizzy is most receptive to a V who helped her out. She introduces V to her new bodyguard who, well, I don't know. I think Lizzy likes her bodyguard a lot. It's very cute. There's definitely a mutual fondness between the two. But you just hope that he doesn't get strangled next. Lizzy can also give V her cool headgear, which looks great with my V's Phantom Liberty suit. I believe she only gives you this headgear if you help her out 100%, if you send her the footage and do everything. I don't think she will give you this headset if you never send her the footage. I'll be honest, I don't love the suit that you get in Phantom Liberty on its own, but the headgear does give it the je ne sais quoi. I'd rather wear Aurora Castle's outfit though, or Songbird's dress. I really wish that they gave me an option to wear a dress to the party, but that's my side note. And also I want Lizzy's hair. I'm upset. There's a lot of nice hair and outfits that you just can't get for your V that are introduced with Phantom Liberty, and that makes me mad, because every time I try to mod my game, I break it. Anyway, there is something small and easy to miss that happens in the world with Lizzy Wizzy. She sends V a text about a brain dance that she's just released and thanks them again. And V is just like, what? What do you mean? Now I'm concerned. But this next part that connects to this, it is really easy to never encounter this. But there is a show in Cyberpunk called Chip In, and this show, the host, Karina Lee, covers Lizzy's BD, which is about her quote-unquote split with Liam, and it has the murder in it. Now, whether or not the world knows that this murder is legitimate, like she actually killed him, or maybe this was filmed with actors, I don't know, but there is a shard that mentions that Lizzy is allegedly in possession of BD recording technology. Maybe she recorded it as she did it for all we know. She has been said to have gotten away with committing crimes before because of her reputation. Maybe she did it again. Maybe everybody thinks this is just pure art, it's just a metaphor, Liam's not actually dead, it was just the pain and anger of the breakup. But Liam actually is dead. He's rotting in the Night City dump, probably. And now Lizzy is a BD star because of what happened. This is why she was suddenly very satisfied and inspired and dismissive of what happened. This is why Lizzy was happy. Now, with all these events covered, here we are with the question, is Lizzy Wizzy cyberpsycho? Almost definitely. And she's a cyberpsycho still performing on stage, making millions, stealing hearts, probably crushing skulls and spines. After doing the full extent of the violence quest, she has entered a sort of fucked up renaissance, and it seems that her fans are loving it. But how long until this shit really hits the fan? How long until she massacres one of her concerts? Maybe she never will, but who knows? I wonder if Arasaka did do the engram scan already without her knowing. Do they have her locked down in Mikoshi or something if we never rat out Liam? Does that mean Lizzy's engram went with Alt, depending on V's chosen ending? Ultimately, Lizzy's story is just as deflating as any other story in this universe is. Because yes, she's a world-famous celebrity, she has unlimited money, she has power, she does what she loves for a living and can have anything she wants. But did the corpo leash drag her too far? I think it did. Did her creativity take her beyond the point of no return? I'm actually reminded of the quest where you find Leon Rinder, a cyberpsycho in denial in Phantom Liberty. Difference is, you can force Leon to ask Regina Jones for help with his condition, where he actually does get a bit better, where he does find a bit more of himself, where he does regret his past actions. But there's no such option with Lizzy. If anything, Lizzy views her state unstable and unpredictable and unpleasant, as it probably is at times, as a good thing. She is, again, happy about Liam's murderer. And as I said, well, what Liam was gonna do was not a great thing either. Like, that is an insane breach of trust with someone you love. He was not wrong to be scared of Lizzy. It's unfortunate for him that he was proven right the moment she locked her hands around his throat. There's really no way out for Lizzy in her situation. She's either unknowingly copied, as her condition inevitably declines, resurrected as Arasaka's cash cow upon her likely death, or when she snaps. I mean, who knows? For all we know, Lizzy could be like Adam Smasher. Maybe she could tolerate the cyberpsychosis totally well. Maybe she was a hidden Adam Smasherette the whole time. It's possible. But otherwise, upon Liam's death, Lizzy is left to decline with only really V to know what's going on with her. And V is, when all is said and done, just a merc. A merc who can't really do much, but answer those text messages with dismissed concern. And you know, V also has a cyberpsycho musician in their head. How about that? I guess it's just that V's brain evens out the cyberpsychosis in Johnny, and Johnny's extra capacity helps V able to handle a shitload of chrome. Crazy stuff. Thank you so much for watching the Lizzy Wizzy video. I finally got Phantom Liberty in the bag. I just have the last couple quests to do, which I'll be recording after I am done recording this video, which is in a few minutes. Then I gotta edit the audio, so I gotta do that first. That's what I'm doing today. How about you guys? What are you doing today? My dog found a toad the other day, and she didn't try to eat it, but like she was playing with it. But of course the poor toad was terrified, so I had to go out and rescue the poor thing. But Bela was getting kind of upset that he didn't want to play with her. She was like, "Why won't you play with me?" She's just rolling around in the grass because she's like, "Why can't I be friends with the toad?" I felt so bad. She just wanted to be friends, but amphibians don't like her. Yeah, I definitely wonder if in the sequel Lizzy will be completely cracked if she appears. Maybe she'll be full cyberpsycho, and who knows, maybe she'll handle it really well and make insane music. Imagine Lizzy Wizzy just joins Maelstrom after her cyberpsychosis really kicks in. That would be wild. I'd love to see a pink and purple ponytail Maelstrom, like, oh my god. Thank you, of course, to my members. I really appreciate it, members. Members, if you needed me to find out if your significant other was copying your consciousness, I would still send you the footage to confirm your suspicions, even though that would turn you into cyberpsychos. But don't worry, I would also pay for your anger management so you'd be able to be okay in the end. We got it all figured out. And of course, thank you so much to everybody for watching. It means a lot. Every view, like, comment, subscribe. It keeps this channel afloat. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you again in the next one. Goodbye.